4, multiplying and dividing rational expressions. We will do about a few examples here, and the directions will say something like, they might just say simplify, or they might say multiply or divide, but that's about it. And these are just expressions. You're not solving anything at all. You're just taking something and rewriting it to make it look easier, hopefully. So the first one is, we'll start simple and we'll do harder and harder examples. 40x plus 20 over 10x plus 30. Okay, we want to simplify that expression. The tempting mistake would be to start canceling things, like to say, oh, there's an x and an x, I'm just going to cross them out. No, that's not mathematically the same expression at all. If you do that, it doesn't work. You have to remember to factor first. And if it's already factored for you, then geez, that's great, because they already did the hard work for you. So you must factor first before then cancel. Then it's okay to cancel if you have the same thing on the top and the bottom. So that's key on these. So factor, well, you do the top first. The GCF is 20 on the top, so you factor out a 20. This is the opposite of the distributive property and a great review of factoring. So what's left over? If you take out 20, that's the most you can take out of these. Good, 2x plus 1. And in the denominator, what's the GCF? 10, so take that out, and what's left? Okay, x plus 3. Now, unfortunately on this one, these don't look the same, so we still can't cancel them. The only thing we can do is that 10 does go into 20 twice, and that is our final answer. And so sometimes we don't get to cancel very much, which is a bummer, and then they're not as fun when stuff doesn't cancel. But our final answer would be that, and that's all you can do with that. Otherwise, it's not an equivalent expression, and it won't be right. So that's the first example. Next, simplify. This hopefully will be a little bit nicer. X squared minus 2x minus 3 over x squared minus x minus 6. Oh, so tempting to cross out these x squareds. I can't even tell you how tempting that is, right? Can't do it because of the addition and subtraction between each term. You can't do that. You cannot just cross out these x squareds. It's not the same thing at all. Okay, so what do we do instead? I'm going to try to think. Let me try to show you why really quickly. I'm going to try to, this is off the top of my head, so it may or may not work. Let me try this. 9 minus 1 over 9 minus, let's see, 2. Let's see if this works, okay? This is just a side, okay? What does this really evaluate to? That really evaluates to 8 over 7, right? And then that's the correct answer. Let's see what happens if we just cross off these 9s. Oh, there's a 9 on top and the bottom. I just want to cross them off. This is the wrong thing to do. Do you see how, oh, it's a half. It's equal to negative 1 over negative 2, which is a half. No, it's not. It's equal to 8/7. So that's the reason you cannot just go crossing things off just because it looks like you can. Okay, so having said that, let's quickly factor the top. We can use shortcuts here. What multiplies to negative 3 and adds to negative 2? Nice. And here? Yes. So that's factored. I want you to get faster and faster at these. Now, these look identical. Yes, we can cross them off, and that's our answer. X plus 1 over x plus 2. X plus 1 over x plus 2. That's done. Okay, let's try one where we're reviewing exponents. These are going to, this question will just say multiply. So I want to multiply 3x to the 5th y squared over 8xy times 6xy squared over 9x cubed y. Okay. Now, we don't really need to factor this at all. There's no pluses and minuses, and we can actually start crossing things out, because it's all multiplication. So we could start doing some cross canceling here, like, see this, yeah, the 3 and the 9. 3 goes into 9 3 times, and then 2 divides into 6 and 8. 2 divides in here 3 times, and it divides in there 4 times. And then I see, okay, so that's just off the top. Let's go ahead and do the multiplication straight across. So we have 3, and this is just the laws of exponents. What's x to the 5 times x to the 1? Nice, x to the 6. Y to the 2 times y to the 2? Yep, y to the 4. On the bottom, we have 12 here. Oh, we could have crossed, actually, we can go ahead and cross these off. These 3's can go away. So actually we just have, we don't even need this. So on the bottom we have 4, what? X to the 4, y to the, nice. Okay, and now we're going to keep going here. And now we just do the division. So we've got 1/4. And then you subtract exponents. 6 minus 4 is x to the second, nice. 4 minus 2. Nice, so there's our final answer. So it's a great, that is actually, you knew how to do that before we even started this chapter, which might have confused you a little bit because you already knew how to do it. But it's great review that it's in there. I'm happy it's in there. And now let's do a couple of dividing, and then we'll be all set. So let's say the directions say divide. The cool thing about dividing is it's the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So on all your divide questions, here's the key. Just multiply by the reciprocal. And you already know how to do multiplication, so that hasn't changed at all. So so the directions are divide. So let's say we have 4x over 5x minus 20 divided by x squared minus 2x over x squared minus 6x plus 8. Okay. So we're going to do two things at once. First, we're going to leave the first, well, we'll factor as we go. So 4x, we can't factor that, right? So that's done. What about 5x minus 20? Good, take out the 5, right? What's left over? Good, x minus 4. Now, watch this. Change the division to multiplication, but flip this. And as we flip it, because I know you guys want to write as little as possible, which is understandable. As we flip it, let's factor at the same time. So this, right, this moves up, and this moves down. That's what it means to take the reciprocal. So we're going to move this up and factor it. So what does it factor to? X minus 4x plus 2. What about this? How do you factor x squared minus 2x? Take out an x. That's all. Good. So here we are. With this, we can start. Now we've done all the hard work. We can start canceling things. So what do you want to cancel? Yeah, I messed up. X minus 4 times x minus 2. Thank you. Great. So now let's go ahead and start canceling things. What do you want to cancel? X minus 2's gone. What else? The x minus 4 is gone. What else? The x is gone. And what does that whole difficult looking expression now become? It's just 4/5. That's about as nice and simple as they get. And I'm going to do just one more example here. Number 6 is 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 over 6x divided by, this one's a little bit different because I don't have a denominator, but that's okay because the denominator is really just 1, so it's not a problem. So let's start by factoring this. Let's review. If you want to do diamonds and rectangles, it's fine. You have to be careful on this though. You can't do the shortcut. So you have to say what multiplies to negative 10 and adds to 3, because you have to multiply the first and the last together. So if you are going to use the rectangles, that goes in the first box, that goes in the last box, and 5 and negative 2, so 5x and negative 2x, and if you fill in the outside, you'll have it. Or you do guess and check. So I know that it has to be 2x and x. I know that these have to multiply to negative 5, and the inner and the outer have to add to 3x. So it's going to have to be, I think it's plus 5 and minus 1, and now I check. 5x plus negative 2x is 3x. So I got it. Good. That's the fast way. Is that you do FOIL in your head in the opposite direction. You guess and check. If you mess up the first time, you erase it and you try again. So this is times, and it's going to be 1 over 2x squared plus 5x, because that's the reciprocal. Because this is invisible, it's over 1, but you can't see it. So we're almost there. So this is 2x plus 5 times x minus 1 over 6x, and we got to factor this. What can we take out? Just x, right? So I'm not sure we get to do a whole lot of canceling, but we'll try. Looks like just those go, and I think that's about it. So you got to write your final answer would be, you don't need the parentheses in your final answer, so it'd be x minus 1 over 6x squared, and you got to leave it like that.